Welcome to Trybe Talks, the podcast for parents who are trying to do it all and stay sane in the process. I'm Princess Nyah, your host and founder of Trybe, your personal parenting assistant. Each week we dive into real conversations, parent hacks, and stories that remind you ain't doing this alone. Now let's get into it.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Nyah, aka Princess Nyah, aka Kizzy's mum. And also I like to call myself the real housewife of Trybe, just because I'm very extra. Today I'm joined by someone that I actually met on an accelerator, which we can probably talk a little bit about later. And I'm not gonna do all the talking today. I really want Stephanie to tell you who she is. And if we had a studio audience, everyone would be going, woo, right now. So, okay, that was my alarm. Just have to turn that off for me, please. So we're going to get straight into it. Stephanie, tell the people who you are and what you birthed outside of your two children.
Of course. Firstly, can I just say it's lovely to be here and great to see you again as well. You're doing amazing. So my name's Stephanie Mensah, as you know, and I'm the co-founder of Beauty Dolls. So Beauty Dolls was birthed through an experience that my son had when he was just 3 years old. Okay. So when he was 3, he got bullied at his nursery, came home and said, "Mum, they don't want to play me because of the colour of my skin." As a first-time mum, it was absolutely heartbreaking. He was my firstborn, my first child. I always knew that I'd have to go through this conversation with him as a young black boy. But to do it so early on was just, oh my God, what do I say? What do I do? So basically, it lit the fire and created the catalyst for Beauty Dolls. And what we did is we designed black and brown soft plush dolls for early years because we realised there's a huge gap in the market. There's not enough representation when it comes to young children. And that's what we did. So we started off by creating dolls.
And teach me the pronunciation, because we've done this off camera, okay? And I would say, and she said I said it like the Westerns. And I said, nah, I want to be Ghanaian, okay? So how are we pronouncing it?
So it's Bibini.
Bibini.
So okay. Bibini in Twi, which is my language that I speak. I'm from Ghana, from the Ashanti tribe. It means black.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know. They're like, oh, how did you come up with the name Bibini? So basically, if we fast forward or rewind many, many moons ago when we got colonised by the British, they brought the concept of dolls to Ghana, to Africa. Okay. And we always had dolls, but we used it in different ways. But they brought the concept of that kind of beautiful doll, perfect sort of thing. Yeah. And they call it Obroniba. Okay. Which translates to white baby.
Ah, so that's why they call me a brony. When like, it's all making sense.
Now you know.
I know. Everybody they say, brony. I said, why are they calling me this?
Brony
this is white woman. Okay.
Exactly. Now, when they left Ghana and we got our independence, the name stuck. Okay. So even if you want to buy any sort of doll in Ghana, you will always say Obroni.
Wow. Okay.
And so in terms of breaking that cycle is why we decided to call it Bibini. Okay. Because at the end of the day, we're not going into the store to buy a white doll. Yeah. We're going in to buy a black doll.
Wow.
So there's a lot of kind of unwinding history that we use to name it. And as soon as somebody who's Ghanaian sees the name, they're like,
Okay.
I get it. And it's about really educating people. Unfortunately in Ghana today, you'll go into a toy shop and unfortunately, predominantly you'll see white dolls.
It's like that all over, unfortunately. Yeah. Like I travel to Jamaica quite a lot and it's the same. I went to Bali a couple of years ago. Yeah. It's just white dolls in Bali. It's a very, it's that a brony concept, worldwide.
There you go, exactly. Because it's that concept of a white doll is beautiful, it's pretty, it's got blonde hair, it's got blue eyes, it's gorgeous. And what we're trying to do is introduce the fact that black dolls can also be beautiful, cute and gorgeous as well. So it's going to take time. But we'll get there.
And I think that what you're doing is you're providing us a tool. And I think that sometimes the explanation when you're talking to kids is one thing. Yeah. But for them to see it themselves, I think it makes a really, really massive difference. Yeah. I remember in the 80s, obviously in England back then, my mum's white and my dad's black. And I grew up in a predominantly white family. All my family's white. And I remember my nan getting little Christmas angels. She got 2 of them, 2 black ones, and put on the tree. Yeah. And she was like, this is to represent you, and that's to represent your sister. Yeah. And at the time, it was like, okay, you're not really thinking.
It kind of wish. Yeah.
And now, like in 2025, and we're seeing the, you know, the launch of black Christmas decorations, etc. And it's like to see yourself allows you to believe in yourself.
100%.
Yeah, and it's
100%.
really underrated to see it.
Definitely. And I think people underestimate the need for representation, the need to feel seen, and the need to feel that, you know, you two are beautiful, that, you know, you can be depicted in books, in dolls, in toys, in magazines, in film, whatever.
Not just in the robbery roles.
Not just...
Do you know what I mean?
Your stereotypical roles, you know. And, you know, before I started the business, I worked in the corporate world for 20 years.
Wow.
I was predominantly the only black woman whenever we went into a boardroom. So first from a woman, and I'm black, and I was young as well compared to some of my counterparts who were there, who were a lot older, because they grew up in the industry, whereas I went to uni, then came in, and it was always difficult to fight that stereotype, you know. And I remember the first interview I went for, I was so nervous. I'm like, they're not going to take me. And I walk in, and there's like a whole room of like white, elderly men.
The suits.
And I just had to say to myself, I said, go for it.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Even if, unfortunately, it's a tick box exercise, it doesn't matter.
It's a foot in.
It's a foot in, and then from there you grow. And I think that the biggest stage for me was when I was managing older men, like in their 50s and 60s, who are a lot older than me, but making sure that they knew that I got here because of my worth, and I'm great at my job. And I think it all stems from what you see when you're younger, how you're raised as well. My mum constantly was pushing. But our ethos is, you're going to have to work 10 times harder.
100 million.
You know, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you all started in the same school, whatever. But because of this, you're going to have to keep, you know, really...
I totally agree. Like, my daughter was learning her times tables, and I said, she goes, I know more. So I'm like, okay, fantastic. I said, what about the 13s? She said, the 13s? I said, yeah. She said, but that's not on the list. I said, exactly. It's not on the list. But you go and learn it. I said, because you need to do more than what everyone else is doing. Not just when you're doing your athletics and all the fun stuff. In every sense of the word, you have to go the extra mile because it's just the way that it is. And sometimes I feel like it's horrible.
Yes, it's unfair, to be honest with you.
But at the same time, now I feel like I'm realising that all the hard work that I'm putting in is putting her in a position of privilege, if that makes sense. So yes, I'm going to make sure she works hard, but there will be times where she'll, to the front. You know what I mean? Like, there you go, that's my kid. There you go. You know, I remember I saw some stuff online about Kanye's daughter, and they're like, she's singing and that, but she's terrible. And I'm like, privilege. Because this white privilege is a real thing. So now it's our time. We work hard so that our children will have a little, do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I do stand by what you said. You have to work way harder.
And I think it's just a general ethos anyway. And we're not the only culture or race to do that.
100%.
So when you look at like the Asian community, the Jewish community, Chinese, you know, they all enforce this, and a lot of them build this generational wealth because they keep a lot in the family. So whatever they learn, they trickle it down, And I think we need to do a lot more of that. I mean, when I had my son, and I remember we used to go to, so I had my son during COVID.
Okay, so how old is he now?
He's 5.
Okay, he's 5.
So he's a COVID baby.
Okay.
Which is good and bad, because when I had him, I was kind of glad I didn't have the whole family over.
Yeah, you know, just like, we were just together.
Just together, right. But at the same time, it was a bit sad because everything that I had envisioned that I would do with my firstborn, I wasn't able to do. So we couldn't go to like mother and baby clubs. Even his health visits were online.
Wow, okay.
So it was completely remote, and it was just me, my partner, and him. But when we did come out of COVID, I remember I took him to a playgroup. He went straight to the front.
Okay.
And I was a bit embarrassed because it was a majority white.
Okay.
So we live in Mitcham. But we do, actually what I did find, which was really crazy, is that a lot of the baby groups had more white parents than they did black parents. We tended to be the only black parents there.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
I think it's a cultural thing.
Okay.
I think.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't go to anything. They scared me. I thought, I don't want to be around all these people talking about their snotty kids.
Yeah.
With that, Charlie's nose and the bum and the diarrhea. It gave me anxiety even thinking about it. So I actually just stayed away.
Well, then, there's a possibility of that. I felt that he needed to go to it because he'd spent a year or 2 years without interacting with other children.
That makes sense.
And so he needs to go to that. And it's been proven that those sessions do help enhance children's learning, engagement with other children.
Yeah.
And so, I had 2 years at home, so I was a Google mum.
And you're ready to get out now.
So I literally would log into Google, okay, he's 2 months old now. Where should he be? He's 3 months old now. He's 4 months old now. Because I couldn't see any comparisons.
Yeah.
So I had to rely on Google to tell me. So we went to a lot of that. But he would go straight to the front. And I loved his confidence. He'd be the first one to get up and dance or put his hand up. Almost had to say to him, okay, just keep it down a little bit. Let's not be the centre of attention.
No, I'm not going to lie. If he was my son, I'd be like, yeah, baby, you get in the front. Show him. You show him.
We just had sports day, actually, and he won all the track and field races.
Oh, I love that.
So, I'm like, yes, I'm like that. And then the parents come to me, oh, he's so good, isn't he? I'm like,
do you know what? When they say that, because Kizzy's very similar, so she's very athletic, and we just transferred her school, she's a new school. So in her last school, she's competing, they all know. Yeah. But this one, obviously, nobody knows. So that she's very, very, very fast. Yeah. And she told me, she said, Mummy, when I done the practice, I didn't run at my full. I said, okay. She goes, I didn't want him to know how fast I could run. I was like laughing. Yeah. So when she's done the race now, she's won, and everyone's congratulating her and all the rest of it. And they're saying, you're amazing, you're amazing. And I said, no, Kizzy. I said, yes, you are good, but you work hard. I said, you got athletics twice a week. When we were in Jamaica, she's running at 6 o'clock in the morning with me on the beach. Like, she puts in the work. And I never want her to fall into that space of, oh, you're just good.
Yeah.
Because you work hard for it. Yes, you are good, but you work hard for it. And I think that sometimes, especially with the grandparents that she has, they're like, oh, you're amazing, you're amazing. I'm like, yes, she is amazing, guys, but please praise the hard work she puts in as well. Because then hopefully she'll never stop working hard. You know what I mean?
They can become complacent.
Yeah. And they say that you could be the most talented. Yeah. Hard work beats talent all the time.
Exactly.
So it's so hard to watch.
It's the discipline that you're enforcing her, which is great.
She could turn around and be like, whatever.
Yeah, he does. I haven't actually put him into athletics yet, but
he's quite young, isn't he? He's 5.
Yeah, he's 5 years old. But he was also a really fast learner. His memory is just crazy. So when he started nursery, we said to them, look, I know he's only 3, but he's at a level where, so counting to 10, he's past that.
Yeah.
Now he comes and tells me, but Mum, I know it all because I'm clever. I'm like, let's hold up a second. Yeah.
It's hard.
You're clever, babe. So he's like, it's boring.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but okay. You need to speak to a teacher, and then she can give you more difficult things to do. So it's a danger of them becoming complacent.
Yeah, and they get bored. And this is the reason why I moved Kizzy out of her school. She hit the ceiling. And it's like, you can't hit the ceiling. You're in year 3. Yeah. This is impossible. But a lot of the schools don't have the resources to balance academic work.
This is it.
To their level.
All
so
got to be at a level.
They just kind of do it average. And I suppose that goes down to us then as parents, providing stuff at home that they're able to, do you know what I mean, to lean into. So where would you say is your go-to to find stuff to help educate your children outside of the school system?
One thing that we do that me and his dad are really good at doing is we talk to them about the world today.
Okay.
So it's funny because he goes to all-faith school. So he goes to Church of England school. And he came home the other day and he said, what did he say? He said, Mum, they said that, this was around Easter, he said, Mum, they said that Jesus... Honestly, this child, he said, Mum, they said that Jesus is in us. Like, Jesus is in all of us. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, Jesus is. He says, but Jesus is white. And I'm black. I was like, God. How do I tackle this now? So I had to explain to him. So my explanation to him was that Jesus is in all of us, and it comes in different shades and colours.
Okay.
It just so happens that the shade that the school is using is the white one.
Okay.
But it comes in different shades.
That's really good. That's really good. You've done really good there. The pivot was amazing. Do you know what I mean? Because you kind of want to say, it's a whitewash.
Right, and so it made me realise that obviously he's still young, but it's still worth having certain conversations with him. We tend to shield our children because we think, oh, they're too young. They're not ready for these conversations just yet. They don't need to know about the world around us today. But it's about introducing subject matters, slowly so they understand. And he's at the age now where he asks so many questions.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who's 3, she literally feeds off of everything that he says. Oh my God, she's like a replica. Like, she started talking at 1 year old just to keep up with him. She's another subject. But it's important that we introduce him to it. So I'll let him know about what's going on in the world today. Okay. If I feel that there's things that he needs to know, we'll sit down together and then we'll teach him about it. So one thing I always try to do is not to repeat like what my parents did. Okay. So, which was a case of when you're asking questions, they're too busy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't need to know about that. So
relax.
And he's question. So I really do, and I think it might be because I had children later on in life as well. So I'm going to be 46.
Okay. Ooh,
in a couple of months. But I guess I have more patience for it. And so he will ask away, and I try to make sure that every question that he does ask me, I give him a real answer.
Yeah, something authentic and tangible to hold on
Exactly.
to. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that it is tough. I think that, when you are, I think as a younger parent, I wasn't a younger parent, but I can see that you've just got so much on. There isn't a lot of time to really start articulating the realness of the world with a 3-year-old. It's like, babes, eat your banana and put on that iPad, And there's no shade. So that's generations, it happens to some generations.
Yeah, 100%.
But when you are a little bit older, you do have a little bit more headspace to be able to say, okay, cool, let me tackle this in this way. Which, is quite, it's important. And I feel like the kids, they get fed so much at school that it is really important to, if you are going to have your kids in school, because there's so many women now are homeschooling, it's like being able to add balance. And what you just described there is like a real key moment of balance and having him understand that you can see whoever it is looking like you. And I think that is something that's really beautiful about your brand as a whole. And it seems that just talking to you, it goes across every path of your life. It's like, that Jesus is definitely white to white people, and that's okay. But he can be black to us, and he might have dreads. You never know. It's okay.
It's like, I don't want to go through Egyptian history, my son, but if we go all the way back, I was like, we'll save that one.
We'll save that one, and this is the thing, because he will come back now with more questions and more questions.
100%.
And like Kizzy came home from school. This was, I think, not last year. It might have been the year before, actually. Anyway, she came home and they was teaching them about it was Black History Month. And they spoke to her about Rosa Parks. And she came home angry. And she's like, I don't like white people. And I'm like, Kizzy. And she didn't say white people. She's like, I don't like Caucasians, okay? And I said,
she went to the
but Kizzy, Nanny's Caucasian. She said, okay, well, I like Nanny. I said, but Nanny Pat's my nan. She's Caucasian. No, well, I just like Nanny Pat and Nanny, that's it. Because do you know what Caucasians done to us, mummy? And I'm like... And it's like, the story they've told her is real. It is a real story. But there's so many other stories that you could tell about Black history to these children that would empower them to not have this disdain for somebody, like another race, so early on. It's so hard. It's so hard to navigate. Because as you said, it's like, I want to be authentically honest and I'm going to tell you the true version. However, there's so many other Black powerful history moments we can discuss other than that. So the resources outside of school, they're so important.
They're minimal, I mean, you're lucky if you even get taught Black history. You're lucky. I mean, I've got a stepson who's 19 and he doesn't recall ever really receiving much Black History.
I don't think we had that. No.
At all.
No.
And like you said, there's so much that we as a community have achieved around the world that just doesn't get really marketed or published. You don't see it anywhere. And so there's always this concept that we are underachievers when actually we're not.
Exactly.
You know, we're sometimes at the forefront of
so many things. So many things.
And I think, like you said, sometimes that's down to the parents to enforce that.
Yeah, 100 million %. I'm definitely like a fan of, okay, cool, if they're not doing it, we're not going to complain. We should do it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hi, everyone.
Kizzy, we're recording.
So, hi, podcast people. I just had to tell you, I have a free course for kids like me. It's called Money Jazz. And it's so cool because it teaches us how to save, spend, and even invest. I'm basically a mini millionaire in training right now.
Kizzy?
Parents, you can get it for free. Yep, free. Just click the link in the description. Thank you so much for listening to my very important announcement. Okay, Mum, you can finally have your podcast back now.
Thanks, Kizzy. Right, where were we?
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about, you know, you mentioned your partner and you had your COVID baby, and obviously when you were at home, that period of time was so bliss because it's like, you know, there's no one to interfere.
Bliss,
Do you know what? I loved COVID. I think I must have been that one.
Do you know how many divorces happened during
Really?
COVID?
I loved COVID. I felt like that gave me a chance to really be with my daughter, which I would never have got because I'm so busy doing entrepreneurship, spinning all the plates. I'll be happy to, and then put her with my mom and da-da-da-da-da. But it gave me time to just be with her and just watch her and, you know, so, I'm probably one of the fortunate ones. I really loved it. But talk to me about how you manage your children. Like, what is your go-to tactic between you and your husband? Like, who's doing everything? Who knows what? Where do you go?
What role do we all play? Right, so I would say, my husband, his strengths come in provisions.
Okay.
So he's the one that...
She said provisions.
So he's... we debate this all the time. So, you know, he'll make sure that we're good food on the table.
Yeah.
Like, he does all the shopping and stuff like that. And he's a real gadget buyer, so he'll go and see something like a garlic crusher of a new kind, and he'll buy it. Okay. I'm like, we don't have a massive kitchen, so let's
slow down. Can I ask you a question? Does he buy all the same colours of stuff though?
No.
Why did he do that? You know,
uncoordinated.
Uncoordinated. When I see my guy come home with something, I'm like, oh, it's really nice, and then it's like, there's a silver. I'm just doing a black thing of it. Okay, I'm appreciative, but what are you doing?
I'm like, we don't need this. But thanks. Yeah, so he does that. We share in the school drops and pickups.
Okay.
He does the whole football thing with my son.
Okay.
And we try and do as much as we can together with the kids. And I'd say my role really is the organizer.
Okay.
So I'm the one who organizes everything. So when it comes to PTA meetings, school trips...
And where is all this information in your head?
It used to be. Okay. It used to be in my head until I got a fridge calendar.
Wow, okay.
So first I had a fridge calendar that was just 1 month. Okay. And that wasn't kind of...
That's not enough.
So I did 2 months.
Okay.
So like now I've got June and July.
Oh, lovely. She's got your 8 weeks glance. Everyone knows what they're doing.
And I had to, because with the business, I've got so many events that I do that it's hard to remember what I've booked myself in for. And with every event I do, I've got to get childcare as well. And I need to give people enough notice so that they can do it or not. And then they go to, so my son and daughter go to 2 different schools. I know. I won't.
We'll save that for the next podcast.
Nightmare. So obviously you got this one's got half term that day, this one's got half term that day, this one's got sports day that day. So it's crazy trying to juggle the 2. So I use the calendars, my phone, so I've got like a note section, a calendar section. So I try and stay as organised as I can, but I've got to be honest, there's lots of last minute prep.
Yeah.
You know, that happens quite a bit. So I'd say that's...
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're spinning the plates, but you know where they're all spinning at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I do try.
No, you do. You're doing amazing. I mean, as mentioned earlier on, I met you on the F100 accelerator course, which was very, very, very intense. It was a lot of classes, a lot of work, a lot of really digging deep into the areas of our businesses that, you know, that we all had the area was like, oh, this one is not for me, which really stretched the boundaries. Managing the 2 kids, looking after your husband, doing all of the things. Like, you know, you needed to give yourself a pat on the back for making it through and also being successful at the same time. You know, it's like really admirable.
Do you know what I've realised recently? That time, you create what you want to do with your time.
100%.
And so we only have limited time during the day. I mean, when I used to work full time, all my hours went into my career job.
Yes.
Which I'm thankful for. It got me to the stage that I got to. But last year I had to make an executive decision and it wasn't just an executive decision, it was more a mental decision.
Yeah.
So, because it started to get too much.
Yeah, that's when the burnout
I burnt out.
Yeah.
And it was going from a career that I had done for so long as a single person that I was good at, to now getting to the stage where I just don't feel as I'm as good as it anymore.
Yeah.
Because now I have to do so many things.
You've watered down. It's like you become like a dilute drink. It's like, imagine in the beginning, you're like a solid, fresh orange juice pressed straight from all the oranges.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hold on a second, I'm feeling like a Vimto.
Yeah.
Like, and not even with a good amount of Vimto. The
tiny bit of it. And it's like, and I'm very much like a perfectionist as well. So one thing that I've always, you know, focused on is the quality of my work.
Yes.
You can say what you want about Stephanie, but judge me by my output, basically. And my output wasn't as strong as it used to be. And although I got critiqued for it at work, I was also very defensive. I was like, no,
you don't know what I'm doing over here.
You know, like, listen to me, hear me out. Unfortunately, the team that I was working with, I was the only one with young children. Okay. So they all had, it was majority men. Yeah. And the women who were in there, their kids were like 20 or so. So they understood, but they couldn't relate. Yes. Just 2 different things. So I decided to leave. So I left last year, April, and to focus
on... Congratulations.
It was scary.
Very scary. But it's nothing like being able to... And this is a luxury that entrepreneurs have, that sometimes people talk about it like it's a negative, because you do hand in the 9 to 5 for a 24/7. That's not a joke. However, you are now the master of your own time. And I think time is the only commodity that you can't package that and sell it. It just is what it is. And what you wake up today and choose to do will affect your mental, your physical, absolutely everything. You know, and we still get the burnout because sometimes it's
100%. You're probably working twice as hard as you're working
twice as hard. But it's just in your own time. You know? And I feel like that's such a blessing.
And you're doing what you love. Like, I felt that I'd fallen out of love with the career, with the day job. And I've always said in any job that I do, if I don't enjoy doing what I'm doing, that's time for me to go.
It's time up, And I hear that loud and clear. And I feel like that's a really, really important message for the children as well. You know, even though they've got to stick things out a little bit longer than us. You know, and you're like, but you wanted to start...
mandatory.
Yeah,
complete mandatory first.
You wanted to start this new thing. You don't have to do it, but you're going to finish the course.
That's it. And you have to. You have to. So I think in terms of juggling everything, it really came from that perspective. So I didn't enjoy what I was doing at work anymore. The pressures became too much. And it was just rethinking, okay, I'm now in a different phase of my life. So at that stage, it fitted what I wanted to do. I got to travel. I got to stay in loads of lovely hotels, which I paid for. Loved it. 20s and 30s, fantastic. I'm now in a new era of my life. And my mother-in-law says it a lot. She says, everything has a season.
100%.
And so when I was struggling, when they were much younger, she used to say to me, look, everything is a season and it will pass.
100%.
You know, and that's what kind of kept me sane, like, okay. And she's right, now they're getting older, there's a lot more they can do for themselves.
More independent.
You know, but then I'm also ready for the new seasons that are coming ahead of me.
That's a really, really amazing way that she said that to you, because I think, especially in the early years of parenting, it's like tearing your hair out. Like, and I always, whenever I speak to a mom or somebody that's got like children that are under 4, I'm like, just when they get to school, life will start to be like, oh shit, this is, oh my days, just go really easy on yourself. Those first 4 years and the trenches.
Yeah.
Right, well, I've got a question for you from Kizzy. This morning on my way to the podcast, she said, oh, Mommy, can you ask a question? So I'm probably going to drop her question in, but I'll say it to you now. So her question is, what is your superpower as a parent?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I know what it is. Patience.
Really?
Patience. Patient. My husband says sometimes I'm too patient. I'm too tolerant. Like, he's very short for me. Like, he'll stop it in its tracks.
Okay.
I allow it to kind of go on a little bit until you get to a point where, okay, now you're kind of overstepping the boundaries. And I said to you before, I think an element of that is maybe because I am slightly older, and so I feel as if it's not an immediate, not everything needs an immediate reaction.
You understand as well, it's like, I can bark at you now, but it's not going to be any different.
You know, just sometimes, okay, is what you're doing going to cause you harm? Is it going to cause damage to the home? Is it or is it just because you're annoying me? And if it's because you're annoying me, let me just have some patience.
Yeah.
And I think for me, a lot of it is my backstory. So I didn't have a conventional, like, it took us, we were trying for 7 years to conceive.
Wow. You really have your miracle babies.
I had my miracle babies.
Amazing.
And they came at a time where, so I lost my mum 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so my mum passed in March, and I found out I was pregnant with my son in April. And that was 7 years. I know. Yeah. So I see my kids as a gift.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we went through everything you could think of to try and have a family, and it didn't happen. And in her passing, so I see her as a gift. So when I'm going through stuff with them, and maybe they've got, I remember I say, you know, it could have been different.
Yeah.
You've been blessed with this gift.
Annoy me until I can't take it anymore.
You know, because, you know, a lot of women who try to have this journey that we're experiencing don't get that opportunity.
It's very true.
And it's only when I was in that realm that I realised just how massive it is, that the need and want from so many women to have that family.
Yeah, it's so true.
And they'll do anything. You know? And so when we're blessed, yes, there can be a nightmare, but we have to remember that
they are a blessing.
They are a blessing.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have said it better myself. Honestly, I'm really, really, really inspired, and I'm sure that everybody listening and watching would equally be inspired. You definitely need to share your entire story. I feel like we need to get you back or do something, because it feels like you have so much more to give that we just can't fit into today. But if you tell everybody where they can find you, the main thing is, like, we love the support, but we like people to tell a friend. So this might not be for you, but it could be for somebody that you know. So share the page. We love the likes, we love the saves, but we love the sharing and we love the buying. Tell everyone where we can find you.
So you can get us on our website. So it's www.biblydolls.com. If you are also signed up to Very or Littlewoods, you have an account with them, you can also get it from there as well. So we're stocked in there. And then within the next few months, we're looking to open our very first shop.
Sounds so exciting.
So that's something that we've been wanting to do for a long time. To have a shop where a child walks in and immediately just feels seen and isn't just scouting the room for that one single black doll. And so we're working at that at the moment. So watch this space.
Amazing. And the book.
Oh, yes.
We need to. I was like, hey, we need the book, man.
So basically, it's called The Modern Mum, and it's navigating motherhood in today's world.
Love that.
And I didn't just want to write a book. I wanted to do like a journal as well.
Okay.
And a lot of what we've spoken about today is actually mentioned
sick.
in the book. So it really tackles some tough questions. For example, you know, if you were with your partner before you had kids,
The change.
the change, you know, the intimacy, learning how to say no, having a network to, you know, to help support you, because they always say it takes a village to raise
100%.
a family. And for some of us who don't have that network, what do we then do in its place? And so I released this about 3 months ago.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you,
Honestly.
thank you.
It sounds like, Stephanie, you're using the new time from leaving your corporate to do some really groundbreaking, amazing things.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow, you're still here listening. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for listening to Trybe Talks. And if you enjoyed today's episode, then please share it with another parent who needs their tribe. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all that good stuff. And make sure you get involved and be a part of the conversation. Until next time, and remember, parenting takes a village. And now you've got one.